Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
Jamaica News in Review. Three-way, no longer a person of interest, attorney says. Dalceta Chin, otherwise called Three-way, is no longer considered a person of interest in Friday's quadruple murder in Central Village, St. Catherine, his attorney stated. The police via the media has asked Chin to report to the Major Investigations Division MID or the nearest police station following the murders. However, on Sunday afternoon when Chin and his lawyer, Kemma Robinson, showed up at MID, they were advised that he was not a suspect in the matter. Robinson further stated that he spoke to the investigating officer and was told that the police had no interest in his client concerning these killings. Mr. Chin maintains his innocence and adds that he has not been in Central Village in over 2 years, Robinson stated. Justin McGregor, also called AK Man, Mark Ellis, also called Frosty T, and two other men who have also been so far identified by their aliases, Ottoman and Mentor, were killed in the attack. Prior to the incident, McGregor was being sought by the St. Catherine South Police Division. Residents reported hearing explosions sometime after 3:30 Friday morning and checked in the area after 8 a.m. led to the discovery of the bodies of the men in an area called Chinatown. Head of the Police Corporate Communications Unit, Senior Superintendent of Police, Stephanie Lindsay, said the police believe the men were killed as a result of an internal feud in the Jaga Jaga gang, whose leader returned to the community from prison last week Wednesday after being acquitted of charges. AK Man had reportedly taken over the leadership of the gang during his absence. Court rules that 3-year extension of DPP's term in office was legal. The full court has ruled that the 3 years extension granted to Director of Public Prosecutions DPP Paulo Llewellyn in 2020 was legal. A panel comprising 3 judges, Justices Lorna Shelley Williams, Simone Wolf-Rees, and Andrea Pettigrew Collins, handed down their verdict on Monday after previously hearing submissions in the Supreme Court. The development arose from double murder convicted Mervyn Cannon filed a suit in February challenging the legality of the DPP's extension. Cameron, who is represented by attorney-at-law Hugh Wildman, contended that Llewellyn had been acting in the post illegally for the past 3 years. 3 shot 2 fatally in Mountain View. 3 men were shot 2 fatally by gunmen in Mountain View, St. Andrew on Sunday night. Police reports are that about 10 p.m. on Sunday, armed assailants shot and injured 3 men at a residence on Mountain View Avenue. 2 of the men succumbed to their injuries, while a third was critically injured and has been hospitalized. The Corporate Communications Unit confirmed the shooting. Cop accused of grabbing woman's private parts offered bail. A police constable is accused of grabbing a woman's private parts while on duty at a police station last year was offered $200,000 bail on Friday. The lawman, Rosford James, who is attached to the Discovery Bay Police Station, was offered bail on indecent assault charge in the St. Anne Parish Court following a bail application by his attorney-at-law, John Jacobs. The alleged victim is a civilian worker at the station. Allegations are that on August 29, 2022, the complainant was carrying out her duties when the constable locked her in a room and assaulted her. The woman reportedly managed to free herself and escape after wrestling with the policeman. Prior to the alleged assault, the policeman is reported to have called out to the woman while pointing to a male member and telling her to look at what he had caused. The woman reportedly reported the incident to a woman corporal who was on duty as well as a woman sergeant. The incident was also reported to the Center of Investigations of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse. James was arrested and charged following a ruling from the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions. He is scheduled to return to court on September 19. CVM-TV cut ties with attorney-at-law Isaac Buchanan over DPP comments. There are reports that the controversial attorney-at-law Isaac Buchanan has been released of his duties as co-host of the morning show CVM at Sunrise, aired on CVM-TV. Buchanan has not appeared on the show in the last 2 months. It's understood he was employed under a freelance contract to co-present CVM at Sunrise. Reporters did seek clarification on Buchanan's status at CVM through the president and CEO of the Verticals Group, owners of CVM, Oliver McIntosh. Mr. McIntosh says a statement will be issued later. Sales rep facing murder charge after allegedly attempting to cover up killing. A 35-year-old sales representative was charged with murder and accessory before and after the fact, after allegedly attempting to cover up murder of a 25-year-old Stephen Bryan on June 21, 2023. Charge is Kevin Martin of Nelson Street in Jonestown. According to reports from the Central Police, Martin rented his Honda-Fit motor car to a man who used his vehicle in the commission of a murder of Brian. It is alleged that Martin subsequently repaired several damages to the vehicle, including covering up bullet holes. Martin was arrested on Saturday, July 22nd, where charges were laid against him. His court date is being finalized. Jah is standing by my side, embattled Llewellyn remains defiant amid disrespect. A Defiant Director of Prosecutions DPP Paula Llewellyn has declared that she is not afraid amid widespread criticism about how the extension of her tenure was handled by the government and the ensuing controversy engulfing her office. Opening her address to members of the Maypen Rotary Club on Saturday, the DPP quoted lyrics from reggae singer Tony Rebel 1997 hit If Jah is standing by my side, then why should Paula Vanessa Llewellyn be afraid? And you notice that I stop it right there at that praise, and I am not going to go any further, said Llewellyn to loud applause from the audience. Because my parents, my mother hailed from Sanguinity, and my father from Frankfield, Cowpen, and I have brought up C, and I was taught, whether privately or publicly, to respect everybody, even those who disrespect me, she continued. And when Michelle Obama said, when those who wish to go low, you continue to stay high. And that is a part of being a public servant who believes in service above self, who believes in a commitment to excel and work ethics, and most importantly, who believes that you are here to serve the public and it's not the public serving you and your ego. Last week, despite objections from opposition members of parliament and senators, the government used its superior numbers in the parliament to amend the constitution to increase the retirement age of the DPP and the Auditor General from 60 to 65 years. It means Llewellyn could remain in office until she is 70, since the Governor General can extend the tenure of the office holder under special circumstances. The controversy has led to calls from Llewellyn to refuse the extension or sit back as DPP. Last week, the Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Ketian Pike, a one-time close associate of Llewellyn, wrote to Prime Minister Andrew Holness appealing to him not to extend the DPP's tenure. In her address to the Rotary Club, Llewellyn went on to speak on the evening's theme, Create Hope in the World, which she said seemed to be ordained by God, as it was providing her with the necessary motivation she needed to continue on her journey as a public servant. This week, it was God ordained. I accept these invitations for Maypen from April and one from Manchester about 2 weeks ago, she stated. Little did I know that I would be privileged to be sharing the order of Jamaica people that I serve, and I would be getting this telepathic comforting thought, you go girl, and continue to give service above self, she added. Soup vendor shot and killed in Trelawney. Detectives assigned to the Trelawney Criminal Investigations Branch CIB are probing the murder of a food vendor who was shot and killed in his car by unknown assailants early Monday morning. The deceased has been identified as 30-year-old Kemar Williams, otherwise called Soupy, a chef of Water Lane Falmouth in Trelawney. Reports from the Falmouth police are that about 1:10 a.m., Williams was sitting in his Mazda Primercy motor vehicle in the Hague housing scheme in the parish when explosions were heard. Williams reportedly drove off, but soon after lost control of the vehicle, which crashed into a wall. Upon the arrival of the police who were summoned, Williams was seen with a wound to his back and his body partially hanging out of the motor vehicle. He was transported to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Hotel worker killed in St. James 5-vehicle collision. A man is now dead following a motor vehicle accident on the Flankers Main Road in St. James on Monday night. He has been identified as Adrian Ladrick, a chef of Westgate and Belmont address in the parish, who is employed at the hotel in Rose Hall. Reports are that about 9:55 p.m., Adrian was traveling in a Toyota Visos motor vehicle along the Flanker Main Road when he was involved in a 5-vehicle collision. Firefighters and other emergency personnel were called to the scene. However, despite their best efforts, Adrian succumbed to the injuries he had sustained. Another man was taken to hospital with injuries. His condition is unknown. Woman hospitalized following car crash in St. Thomas. A woman was rushed to hospital for treatment after her car crashed into a median at the Albion Main Road near Yellows in St. Thomas Tuesday afternoon. Information reaching reporter is that about 3:10 p.m., the driver, who is said to be a police officer, lost control of the vehicle before it crashed. The condition of the woman is not known at this time. Her identity has not been revealed. Crawford still wants to be Prime Minister, explains relative silence on the golden-led PNP. Opposition Senator Damon Crawford has never shied away from stating his ambition of one day leading the People's National Party PNP and Jamaica as Prime Minister. Despite his relative silence the last couple of years, since taking a hiatus from representational politics, the desire remains. I would love to have the opportunity to be Prime Minister. I have always wanted that opportunity, and that I am the chief decision maker of where we go, Crawford told reporters in an exclusive interview earlier last week. If I get the opportunity to decide for education or health or housing, or wherever, I will be able to do more. The role of the Prime Minister, I believe, if I have the opportunity, I would make some serious changes, he added. Crawford, who is also opposition spokesperson on education, has been keeping a relatively low profile for the last couple of years. Asked about his relative silence, he said it is because he has less influence under the current Mark Golden-led PNP compared to when Portia Simpson-Miller or Dr. Phillips was at the helm of the party. One of the worst things I think can happen is to be perceived as a liar. If I don't have the influence over the direction of the party, I can't be the main speaker or voice of the party because I don't have the influence to guarantee that the things that I am proposing will be done, Crawford stated. Because I have much less influence now than I had under Dr. Peter Phillips or Portia Simpson-Miller, I don't find it comfortable to be an announcer of my opinion, he stated. Still, Crawford has expressed a desire to return to representational politics, declaring his intent of becoming the PNP standing bearer in St. Catherine Northwest constituency if the seat becomes available. The current Member of Parliament for the constituency is the PNP's Hugh Graham, who has had an uneasy relationship with the party and resigned from the opposition shadow candidate earlier this year. Stony Hill market vendors say lack of electricity killing business threaten to stop paying fees. When the new-look Stony Hill market in West Rural St. Andrew was unveiled last November, vendors expressed pleasure at the rehabilitation of the facility, noting that they would now have a more spacious and welcoming environment to conduct business. However, that reportedly hasn't panned out. The vendors at the market are at their wits' end over a number of issues at the facility which they say are affecting their business. Chief among the issues, they say, is a lack of electricity at the facility, which has shortened their business hours. We have been here since November. We didn't have any light until January. And from January, we have light 2 months to 3 months. And from that, the light gone again, a distraught vendor Tia told reporters. We have been paying market fees, and we are not getting any good argument about the light. The supervisor that work up here told us we don't need light to sell because we should pack up by certain hours, she continued, declaring it's not fair to us to be paying market fees and not getting light. According to the vendors, the lack of electricity has forced them to shut up as early as 5 p.m., hours earlier than their normal closing time. By 5 o'clock, we have to come out here. In here, it's very dark. Remember, anyone can run through one of the market gate and hold we up because of the darkness. So it make no sense catch, another vendor stated. The situation has put a severe dent in their bottom line, the Tia added. Usually, a person coming home from work, like 6 or 7 o'clock, would stop and buy a piece of yam, pumpkin, or so on. But now, they are afraid to come in here without the light, she said. What we normally sell in one day, it takes us now a whole day to sell, a male vendor interjected, putting into context how severely the issue has impacted sales. Among the other issues at the facility, the vendors say, are theft and a leaking roof. From them done the market this a gone, because them say they give we big pretty market, and the worst market them give we. Better we have the old market, another vendor added. It cost the vendors some $8,000 in fees per month to operate at the market. But yet, they say their appeals to the authorities to address the issues has fallen on deaf ears. They have threatened to stop paying market fees if the issues are not addressed. Nobody now can give us no justice, so we decide that we're not paying no market fees. So before we stop paying market fees, we do this, we speak to the media, stated the vendor. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification
Please remember to subscribe, like,